Oh my goodness. I cannot believe who I have on the call today. My man, my brother, Johnny Merriweather. Now, he goes by Johnny, y'all, but I know him by John. Now, if we really want to get down with it, he is Junior. But this is Johnny Merriweather that's on the call with us. Johnny, you represent Global Destination Services. That is the company that you are the owner and founder of. And today we're going to have a conversation, y'all, about what happens when, as a leader, when you're faced with change and crises, and you have to level up around your leadership. And so our conversation is really going to be about how you level up your leadership in uncertain times. So, John, I'm just going to turn it over to you. If you could just share with us what is Global Destination Services?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's a pleasure to be on the show. I feel honored to have the invitation. Thanks for thinking of me, and it's I've been looking forward to today. I know it's going to be a fun conversation, and
Yeah.
looking forward to contributing and gaining from it as well. Yeah, so in a nutshell, we connect people with new cities. Uh, we focus on people who are relocating to take on a new job or get a promotion in a job. And as they get to that new city, we get them connected with that city. And that covers everything from home finding to school search to personal interest and hobbies. If you think about some of the largest companies in the world, the Amazons, the Googles, the Apple, Microsoft, and all the pharmaceutical companies, they're moving people around the world all the time. And then someone, ideally our company, has got to help them get connected and grounded into that new area. And that's what we do. We've been doing that for a little bit over 25 years, going on 26 years now. And had the good fortune of working with some of the most recognizable brands in the world. And yeah, that's what we do every day. Headquartered in Carmel, Indiana. Have people throughout the US and Canada, some in the Philippines and Argentina and Costa Rica. And so we're kind of strategically located so that we can take good care of our customers. All in all, we have about 100 employees and thousands of contractors all over the globe that are helping people in these small cities, large cities, cities of all sizes, in various parts of the world. So yeah, that's what we do. Have a good time doing it, and happy to make some level of contribution to the business community.
John, you came from 64th in college. You're not supposed to be in this situation. Let me tell you, my goodness. 26 years in business, 100 employees, thousands of contractors, and not just local, but a global company. I just love it. John, when you started out 26 years ago, you started out as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right now, you're mature business, but you started out as an entrepreneur. So can you just kind of talk us through, if you can think about what it was as an entrepreneur, what were some of the challenges that you went through as an entrepreneur, and also what were some of the successes that you experienced as an entrepreneur?
I think entrepreneurs, being an entrepreneur, I think you have to be a good listener. You have to be observant to, listen for those opportunities, look out for those opportunities. And then probably just as important as that, I think you have to be action oriented, so you really have to be ready to take action on what you're seeing, what you're thinking, where you think you have an opportunity. I think that's probably where a lot of people, including myself, probably have gone wrong, violating one of those aspects of entrepreneurship. But in some cases, we got it right. I got it right to be able to listen to the opportunity, take it seriously, jump in wholeheartedly, and try to bring it to fruition. So yeah, I think we had some successes around that. Lots of learning lessons, aka failures along the way to redirect our path. But I think it's been overall a good ride, and I think those are some of the keys, and I'll say keys and mistakes that entrepreneurs can make.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, and I love this fact. It's interesting because when you say good listener, and that has a different connotation
Hmm.
because you say good listener in terms of listening for the opportunity. Now
Hmm.
that right there, that just blew my mind right there as I thought about that. I was like, okay, because usually when we say good listener, we're talking about listening to people and being a good listener. But you said listening for the opportunity, so that's really paying attention to the market and the environment around you.
Exactly right. Yeah.
For that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
the
really
market,
appreciate that.
the business landscape, your place within it, and how that opportunity could potentially unfold. You're exactly right.
Absolutely. And then your learning lessons, aka failure. A lot of people are afraid of failure, but it sounds like to me what you said is, you know what? Failure is a learning lesson. I'm gonna get better if I
Yeah,
experience a fail.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. People are afraid of it. Heck, I'm essentially afraid of it too. I mean, it's costly. It costs money. It costs time. It could, if you do it really badly, it could cost reputation. But that's in some cases a cost you have to pay. Ideally, the gain is going to be better on the other side. If you have to pay up those types of costs. But yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah,
No one's getting 100 out of 100. So you make some mistakes. You have to necessarily learn from them and put those learning lessons in play and try to come out better on the other side and
yeah,
minimize the damage along the way too.
yeah. Absolutely. We had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, probably about a month or so ago, and you shared with me that you were in the process of having an acquisition of a company into Go Destination Services. And one of the things that you shared with me, which really prompted this conversation, you said I have to begin to think about my leadership in a different way than what I had before. And I was thinking, wow, resilient leaders, whenever you are a leader and you have this sense of resiliency, and when there's something that is uncertain, if the landscape shifts, or if you have some uncertainty, now acquiring a company is a good thing, but it also has some uncertainty to it as well, right? And
Mm.
so I really want to kind of talk about this way this notion of you having to rethink your leadership in this time. Tell us a little bit more about that in terms of what brought you to the point to where you said I got to rethink my leadership, and what are some of the things that you're doing to think and lead differently than what you did in the past?
Yeah, good. That's a good question. Yeah, so we like to think that we are in tune with our leadership style and attributes, and might even take some tests on occasion, or have it in the past, or if you were being if the question were posed to you, tell me about you likely could come up with an answer, right? And I think that there, however, certain scenarios that really cause you to look at it more holistically, more honestly, more deeply, more richly. And I think when you acquire a company, when you take on two cultures, you take on additional employees, when you write a check that is positioning you to buy a company, that's a really good time to be thinking about how you're going to approach this thing. Those challenges are new. They become those are new challenges. You likely haven't faced them before in the exact same way. So it's a good time to say, okay, what am I really made of? And I think kind of my one of my approaches really is faced with a new challenge, you can look at a system or someone else or a manager or an employee or even a customer. But I gain a little strength and clarity from saying, okay, here's the situation. I got to become a better leader, not putting it really on, well, this happened and that happened. Well, I got to become a better leader. I have to do things differently. And, I think that's been empowering to think about problems that way. Become a better leader. You don't like it, become a better leader. There may be other, contributing issues, factors, maybe other contributing factors, but if you want a different outcome, I'm going to start with, okay, I better become a better leader. Then I better
Yeah,
sharpen my leadership skills or whatever subset of that.
yeah, yeah. And what I really like about this is that you taking this mindset of I need to become a better leader is is not something that's reactive. Now, yes, there's a purchase of a new company, but it's not like something has blown up and you said I got to become a better leader. You're saying, hey, you know what? I want to be proactive and I need to become a better leader as I look down the road with new culture, new people, and so therefore I can handle these things differently and better because now I'm ready and I don't have to get ready.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, and that's the way, it's like you can have a response to something because of a problem as you described, and being reactive in that way. But the way, the thing that's probably was the driving force, really driving factor was you have an opportunity, and going back to our previous segment of the conversation, it's, an entrepreneur loves and cherishes opportunity. So to know that there is an opportunity is it should be enough of a driver for you to say, I need to get better as a leader because I
Yeah.
want to I want to capture an opportunity. I want to take
Yeah.
full advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. And in many ways, there's this book, I forget the author's name, but the book is What Got Me Here Won't Get Me There. And
Yeah.
that's one of the mantras that I have in my life. And so there are times where when I have to level up, and what got me here won't get me there. What I did 5 years ago is not going to get me to where I want to go 5 years down the line or even right now. And
Mhm.
so always being in that mindset of adaptability and beginning to kind of move and change and shift and evolve when we need to.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And speaking about adaptability, and I want to talk about leadership and adaptability under pressure, right? The name of the book is Perched in the Storm. There are seven key behaviors that I have unearthed in Perched in the Storm, and for you all listening, John is one of the storm chasers. So if you pick up the book Perched in the Storm, one of the chapters is called Storm Chasers, and John is one of the storm chasers, one of the folks that I interview in the book. And and this notion of adaptability is one of the seven behaviors. Actually, the first behavior is mindset mastery, and the second is adaptability. And how do we adapt under pressure? John, can you share with us a time, a moment when you realized you had to quickly adapt to a situation? How did you navigate that turning point?
Yeah, well, throughout the history of the organization, there's been a lot of those moments where we, probably had that moment of reckoning that, hey, we better make a pivot, whether to avoid an issue or do what I mentioned a short time ago and capture an opportunity. We better make a pivot. Thinking about a specific example, as you prompted, I'd say probably one would be going from a regional company to a national company to a global. So kind of expanding. Competition had a larger footprint, and that posed a problem. Our clients had greater needs than what our limited coverage was. So that posed one of those moments of you better adapt or else. So going from regional to national to global, that was one of those moments. Investing in technology, that was another one of those moments. Our competition had some unique features with their technology, with things like APIs and apps, specific apps, and other interactive features of their technology that we didn't possess at the time. That's one of those moments. Our clients had an interest in those things, and so that posed to be, posed one of those moments. So, so how do we deal with that? Try to navigate that intersection, lean in, dive in, go all in, and then try to communicate that all the way around. So to let the customer know, the client know, here is where we are, here's where we're looking to go, and I'm going to give you milestones along the way. So even if we're not all the way there, the customer would know, the customer, I should say, and our employees would know, here's where we are and here's where we're going, and I'm going to update you at every key point. So yeah, it's really
Yeah.
about leaning all the way in and just committing to getting there and avoiding an issue or taking a full advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, no, I really like it. I really love how you said it. And yeah, John is my best friend. This is my brother. We've been knowing each other for 40 years. And so just to hear him speak about his business, I just get goosebumps. I just get chills because I'm so proud of this man right here. He said that he went from regional to national to global. Y'all don't miss that. If you're an entrepreneur, you can go from regional footprint to a national footprint to a global footprint. This is a model example right here in front of you. And something that you said that really kind of just spoke to me is that with each stage that you got on, as the stage got bigger, as your footprint got bigger, your competitors' footprint got bigger, and so
That's
you
right.
began to see more competitors
Mhm.
as you got out there from a regional, national to a global perspective. And not only did your competitors get bigger, but your clients' needs got bigger as well. I would say needs and expectations of you,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And part of the expectation was this advance in technology. So
yeah,
clients wanted the type of technology that your competitors had, that as you were moving into the next market area,
yeah,
you may not have had at the time,
right.
but you had to now adapt and begin to acquire that technology.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yep.
Absolutely. And then communicating with your client. So saying, hey, this is where we are and this is where we're going. Stick with us. We're going to get there, and we
Mhm.
want to get there with you as a partner.
Yep, you're exactly right. Almost
Absolutely. And then
verbatim.
communicating
Yeah.
with your customers as well. I love
Yeah.
it. Oh my goodness, I love it. Let's go back just for a moment and talk about let's dig into that fail and talk about kind of resilience in action. Um, we know that adaptability is one of the key um, behaviors, the mindset, uh, emotional intelligence. Let's think about a fail when you a time where you it didn't work out. It was like it just did not work out. Um, what was your emotion around that? And then how did you rebound from that? So whatever it was, it didn't work out. What were your emotions around it? And then how did you rebound?
Well, yeah, someone's saving me with the question because that's a that's pretty heavy stuff. But just gonna try to think about maybe one failure that we've had. We've had our definitely our share of failures. Uh, we did have a former acquisition that it was our first one. The one I've been speaking about to this point is our second acquisition. We had another one. And while that wasn't really, I mean, it was overall successful, but there was, some learning lessons along the way that, wow, if we could do this again, we would do things a little bit differently. So that was one. And I'd say the more problematic was trying to expand the company by franchising as opposed to organic in-house growth. Now that one was a epic failure. We thought, and it really wasn't franchising in a traditional sense. It was more of a modified version of franchising, more like area business management. So essentially, the concept was, hey, we're here in this area. Someone we want to expand into this area. Why don't we give someone the rights of our brand so they can deploy that
Yeah.
in that particular area? So yeah, that met some success. We did have some. I think we got up to about 12 or 15 regions, and we met some success. It didn't reach the level that we were hoping for, and so we were obviously appropriately disappointed in the outcomes. Decided to scale back. And what did we do? We evaluated and tried to make pivots and adjustments and all that. Ultimately, what we learned was that our core entity in its original form was the better equipped to build markets, even though it wasn't in our backyard. We were better equipped with our, approach, our, strategies, our systems, our technology. We were better equipped to make the case for why we should have this new customer versus someone that just came on board and became the executive director of that particular region.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were very disappointed. Lost momentum and time and money, but we learned how critical our existing infrastructure was, and then how we were better equipped than what we thought we were to make um, expansive moves,
Yeah.
even outside of our region at the time.
Yeah. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, right? And so
Yeah, yeah,
you didn't realize that you had green plush grass
yeah,
inside your own operation until you went outside
yeah.
and realized, hey, we got what we need.
Right, right, right. Yep,
Yeah.
we have what we need, and we can take what we have and advance it forward.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you, can you think about, that was you said epic, that was an epic fail. It was disappointing. Um, how did you bounce back? What were some of the things that help you to bounce back, help you to be resilient in that moment and not just be too down on yourselves and give yourself some grace and say, okay, you know what, we're here. Now we're going to keep moving forward. So can you identify anything that helps you to bounce back?
So I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this with your audience, but because we're among friends and this is about being your true self and being candid and authentic, I'll say you would not believe that, we had that first round at expansion to those business managers, and then paused that, and then took some time, and then got the brilliant idea to say, you know what, I think we got it figured out now. So we went and tried it again and screwed it up again. So we did it the first time, screwed it up. Okay, I think we got to figure it out. Okay, let's go do it again. And then it really followed the same course, unfortunately, in spite of our thinking that we were wise enough to not have the same outcome, screwed it up again. And that's probably when it was quite clear then that we do have what we need within our own ecosystem to make a global expansion with our current status as a company, right? I mean, we had to do a few things differently, but we had it already in-house. So yeah, so you can, we've been talking about making mistakes. I mean, you can make the same mistake twice, and I guess hopefully that doubled the learning lesson.
And yeah, let me tell you, John is he's one of those folks. He does not like to share emotions, doesn't like to show emotions. So John, thank you so much for being authentic in that way. Don't be embarrassed. Give yourself some grace, and that's what he did. Gave some grace. Sometimes it takes that fail twice before we get it the third and final time. And so, good deal, great learning lesson there. So thank you for sharing that with us for sure. Things now, when you think about, you had to fail, you kind of learn from that. Had to fail twice in the same area, but you've learned from it. Now you're like you're regional, national, global. How did we get to a place where we have balance and stability when you had change, and then when that, as you move out of that change, you're trying to move to balance and stability? What are some of your lessons that you can help people to think about how to have balance and stability within their operations?
Yeah, excuse me. Well, yeah. So I think one of the keys to success for us is that we've tried to build that into the culture. Like we have the history, we have the relationships, we have the outcomes of those relationships in the form of awards and recognitions and supplier of the year and all those kind of things. So all of those things have acted as sort of building blocks to build a solid foundation. Now we didn't click our heels or snap our fingers and that pop, that took some time to get there. But I think it was, stability takes a little bit of time. And for now, For us now, we can just look back at a history and say, okay, wow, our history is it does create some stability in looking at our corporate resume and the things we've been able to accomplish over some time. So yeah, that's really helped to stabilize what we're trying to get done in the future.
So that history, that longevity, provides you
Yeah,
that sense of stability to be able to look over time. But the thing I
yeah,
love that you said is embedding it in the culture. So
yeah,
for our entrepreneurs and our business owners, and even our folks who are working in the 9 to 5, how do we bed change and stability inside of the culture so that
yeah.
becomes a part of what we do and how we do it? I love it. Absolutely. John, let me ask you this last question. What can you leave us with one lesson, one big lesson that you would like to share with the listening audience around what you have learned as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a leader? How do you level up as a leader in uncertain times? What lesson would you like to share with us?
Oh man, how I'd say as a leader, I would say you know, leaders should have a vision of where they are trying to get to with their organization. Okay, so you got your vision. Then you want to be able to articulate that vision, and then you have to do that not just once or twice or three times. That has to be ongoing. We have a one full company huddle every week, and then there's departmental meetings throughout the week. But our weekly huddles, it's about the same format. I lead the weekly huddle for company wide, and my talking points are pretty much the same every single week. We're going to talk about service. Yesterday, Monday, we talked about our response time. We like to have a 3 hour response time for internal customers and external customers, right? And so that's a vision that I have and that my leadership team has. So we have several of those types of reminders we're going to be talking about all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. That creates that continuity, that builds the culture, and that's a big part of bringing that vision to life. It's not enough just to have a vision, right? It's how do we work to bring that to life? We have a vision to be a raving fan level service provider in our industry. So how do we bring that to life? Well, we have to work on that, put things in place, communicate that regularly, have exercises around it, and make sure it's not something it's a one and done. We talk about and then we're done. It's a part of our everyday lexicon, and those that's probably one of the things I would say. And if I would add something on top of that, or next to that, would be uh, you have to work your rear end off. It depends on what chapter you are in your business life or entrepreneur life or business owner, founder, whatever that is. Hopefully, your reality will allow you to work your rear end off. There's going to be limited time for scrolling on your phone. There's going to be limited time for Netflix. There's going to be limited time to sit around the table and play cards. That's all work time. That's work time. Now we have different chapters, you get a little bit older, you don't have as much energy, whatever that, you have to find the energy, wake up earlier, go to bed earlier, whatever adjustments you need to make. It's about working your butt off. It's about working your butt off to bring that to fruition, and bring that vision to life. So those are a couple of things to think about.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love the huddles. I love the vision. I love the working hard, putting everything inside of the culture. Absolutely. And y'all, John is one who he believes in that work hard. I remember at one point in time you had a license plate on the back of your license plate. Didn't it say work hard or something like that?
Yeah, it's still on one of the cars. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So he don't talk about it. He is about it. You have to be obsessive anything that you want to do, you have to be obsessive about it. And that's just the pure reality. In order for me to get this book done, I had to be obsessive. I couldn't scroll, I couldn't watch the TV. I had to write, I had to think, I had to kind of really put my all into it if it was something that I want to birth into society. And that's exactly what John has done with his company. And I'm going to say companies because this man not only just has one company, his primary company. He has other companies as well. And so he is a business owner and a serial entrepreneur, if you will. John, thank you so much for just spending some time with us today, taking some time out of your busy schedule to sit down and provide us with some of the nuggets that you have gained over time in terms of leveling up in your leadership. I want to now take for a moment and ask. We have a guest on with us, Leslie. Leslie, if you want to, if you had a question that you want to ask, unmute yourself, pop on the camera, and ask your question. You've been very active in the chat. Really appreciate that. But if you had a question of John or me, please go ahead and let's get at it.
I'd like to ask about you mentioned various characteristics, and these may have come from your book, William. But maybe if you give us your list, and Johnny could give us his list of, 3 or 4, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna give you the 7. So we have it coming from the book, from the research, in terms of how do you become a resilient leader. Resiliency is something that is not a character trait. It is something that we don't we learn it, but we learn it through the crises. We learn resiliency through the storm. That's the only way that you can really become resilient. As a matter of fact, we were all at the time of our birth, each human, we were born in a moment of crises. And so we were born and built for resilience. There are 7 characteristics or seven behaviors. Mindset mastery is one of those behaviors. John and I have talked about that. Mindset mastery, then adaptability, and these go and they connect in. So mindset, once you have a mindset, then you have to be able to adapt. Then once you have adaptability, you look at emotional intelligence. And so do I have the self-awareness? Do I have, John talked about listening to the market. That is emotional intelligence, to be able to listen for the market. And also emotional intelligence talks about how do you take care of your people and people around you. Service oriented, how do you become as a resilient leader? Is not about me, it's not just about me, it's about the people that I serve and the community I serve and humanity. And so as a resilient leader, we have to look at service oriented as well. Then continuous growth and innovation. John talked a lot about continuous growth and innovation in terms of learning from those fails, learning from his clients, and also learning from his people. And then when we look at uh, strategic career growth. I love strategic career growth because what this says, that no matter where I am in my organization, if I am working for a 9 to 5 or if I'm an entrepreneur, how do I continue to build my platform, build my brand? This book here, Perched in the Storm, is my strategic career growth. It is how I continue to build my brand. John, when he started as an entrepreneur, for him, that was a strategic career growth. He knew he had a place he wanted to go. And so he had to work hard at it every day to get there. And he still is not where he wants to be. Now he's at a better place, but if you ask John right now, are you where you want to be? He's gonna say, nope, I got somewhere else I want to go. And so he's still thinking about how to kind of level up. And then lastly, work-life integration, working hard, not scrolling as much. You have to, and if you're scrolling, okay, scroll, but you got to stop. Scroll while you're scrolling, be looking for how you can level up in your business. Stop for a moment, look at the thing that caught your eye, then go back and look at the thing that's going to help you with your business. So now you're integrating the work into your life. Those are my 7 behaviors of resilient leaders. John, do you have any behaviors, any thoughts about that?
Well, I've been perched in the storm a lot in my business career, and I think those 7 are absolutely perfect. They're right on, nothing to add. It doesn't get better than that harmony of behaviors, and those are amazing. I would back just those 7, 100%.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. I love that harmony of behaviors. I'm gonna use that in my lexicon. I love it. Absolutely. Well, I
Yeah.
want to make Leslie, thank you so much. You have been active with us. It looks like that you said you love the organizational huddle. You're going to take that into IRT, and that's one of the things that we also do at my workplace as well. We have a huddle. I love the huddles. Continuity is key, and we sometimes underestimate that. And so just really appreciate you jumping in and engaging with us in the chat. John, is there anything else that you would like to add before we sign off?
No, I think this has been a good conversation. It's been very helpful for me to be a listener, even to you, and talking about your book and where that's going to go. And so just thrilled to have the conversation. I feel honored to be invited to talk a little bit about my story, and happy to come back at any time.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? This is our third conversation, so
Yeah,
we're gonna come back for a
yeah.
fourth one for sure. Absolutely. Leslie, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been uplifting to us as well. Glad that we were able to provide value to your workday and to our listening audience. Glad that we're able to hope that we can add some value, have added value to your workday as well. Thank you so much. Stay perched in the storm. All right. Take care.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye now.